How's it going, everyone? College Lefty, and in this video I'm going to be ranking the team affinities, the faces of the franchise diamonds. And to start off with, I have to go with Fernando Tatis as the #1 ranked face of the franchise diamonds, simply because he is a 5-tool player. He has the contact, the power, the speed. He also has the ability to make plays on defense. He has the arm strength. He's just an all-around solid player. The one thing lacking on that card is the vision. So here are my stats, mostly playing ranked seasons with this guy. I've unlocked him pretty early on. He was probably my third face of the franchise diamond that I went for, and I figured I would make this video after I got a good sample size of a lot of these cards, playing with them in ranked, playing with them in the event. All of these stats with these cards are online, as if you play with them offline, then those stats will not accumulate towards your online stats, which is pretty cool. So the second ranked card I have for this video is Gleyber Torres. You could honestly flip-flop Tatis and Torres 1 and 2. I really think that these two cards are the best two face of the franchise diamonds, though. This card has been absolutely incredible. Anytime I face him, he seems to do really well against me as well, so I wanted to include that. Keep in mind that I have 15 of these face of the franchise diamonds unlocked, so I'll be ranking the 15 cards that I've personally used. Juan Soto, I'll go ahead and put in the 3 spot. I think that this card is similar to Reggie Jackson in terms of power and contact. He has a little bit less of both contact and power against lefties, but kind of like a budget Reggie Jackson. This card has been really good for me, probably the best hitting face of the franchise diamond that I've recently picked up. I know I've used him for quite a few games now. A lot of the event, I played with this card in the event predominantly, but in ranked seasons he's still performing really well. I'm hitting around 400 with a lot of these face of the franchise diamonds, with a good amount of home runs. About half of the hits go for extra bases, so those are types of things that I'm looking for when picking these face of the franchise diamonds, as well as value on defense. And that's why I think Joey Gallo is #4. Although he has low contact and vision, tougher to use on the harder difficulties like Hall of Fame and Legend, I still think that this card serves a large purpose for you on your team. He's a great bench hitter if you are playing on Hall of Fame or Legend. He's great on defense. He makes plays in center field. As you can see, this card I have the most strikeouts with at 42. My batting average is still over 400 with 37 home runs and 11 doubles. So those are types of things I'm looking for. This guy's like an all or nothing type of hitter. And I also wanted to include some pitchers on this list. So Shohei Ohtani makes the list as the #1 pitcher for face of the franchise diamonds, which I truly believe he is because of the fact that he throws 100 miles an hour. He's very tough to hit on Hall of Fame or Legend, but he's also tougher to control on those difficulties. He's easier to control on All-Star, and I'll take these pitching stats. I mean, a 5 ERA is the ERA is pretty high for a pitcher, but at the same time in this video game, my ERA sits at right around a 5, so I'll take that. He's 6-1. He has a 1.07 whip, which is something that I look for. It means he's not really walking or giving up a lot of hits per inning, about 1 per inning, which is good. And those are types of things that I will look for in my pitcher and my pitching stats. But he also has the factor that he can hit. He is a 9th batter for you in your lineup. And I've done pretty well against lefties with him. I know I've hit a couple home runs against right-handed pitching, but my average is a little bit lower. Coming in at #6, Matt Olson. I think that this card could be ranked a little bit higher on some people's lists because I think a lot of people use this card with diamond defense at first base, diamond defense in right field, just not as much speed. He does get the job done for hitting-wise as well as defense. I mean, he has a little bit larger vision. 52 is plenty for Hall of Fame, and it's pushing it for Legend, but you can use him on Legend. The thing about this card, the reason why I don't have him ranked a little bit higher is because I have a much smaller sample size, and that will play a factor into some of these ranked cards as well. So Josh Bell comes in at #7, another first baseman. I like to start this card over Matt Olson in ranked because he has higher vision, he's a switch hitter, and the defense is still fine over there. Yeah, sure, he makes a few errors. He has a little bit more speed, but he's a solid all-around hitter and has a little bit better stats, in my opinion, against lefties with the advantage of hitting from the right side. So those are just different things. Everybody has a personal preference on some of these players that they like. So you might have Matt Olson as your number 1 ranked face of the franchise diamond. That's perfectly okay. That card is a beast. All these cards are really good in their own way. So I just wanted to clarify that as well. Coming in at number 8 is Blake Snell. I think this card is really good. He's the second best pitcher in my opinion because he also throws really hard. He has really good hits and Ks per 9. He's tougher to control at 63 walks per 9. So the feedback meter is a little bit more challenging to consistently get good feedback with. But that 52 control rating is what keeps this card a little bit more behind some of the other pitchers in the game, in my opinion. I've done really well with this guy, but Blake Snell is a great player as well. He has a great personality, playing MLB The Show, playing in that players tournament. Really am a big fan of Blake Snell in general. He's a left-handed pitcher that I've always liked to watch, and that's why I like to use him in this game as well. But just that control attribute, if he had a little bit more, he'd be much better. But Byron Buxton is going in at number 9. This card is really glitchy. He doesn't really have the greatest hitting stats. He's mainly in the 60s for most of his hitting stats. He does have 74 clutch and 72 contact versus left, but he has a really quick swing. He has 99 speed and diamond fielding, which is very valuable. But as you can see, I mean, this is mainly ranked seasons. The first 30 or so games of ranked seasons, I use this card on my team. So a variety of difficulties as well, but definitely a solid card. I would recommend that Byron Buxton if you don't have some of the better outfielders like Reggie Jackson, Mike Trout, Cody Bellinger. Anyway, Carlos Correa coming in at number 10. This card I probably would have ranked a little bit higher if I've used him more often. I haven't gotten a large sample size with this card, but he is very good. I know a lot of top players and a lot of good players in MLB The Show really like this Carlos Correa card. He has a great swing. He has that two-handed swing. He's got a great leg kick as well. I just haven't really played that many games. I've used him off the bench as well, so sometimes he'll play just one at-bat per game. So he's done pretty well for me. 9 hits, a couple home runs. I have Carlos Santana in at number 11 because he has the secondary position at catcher. If he didn't have that, I don't think I would have him ranked as high on the list. But he does have a great swing. He's a very good card. His blocking attribute is in the 40s, I believe. It's like 45 or 50. So that's the thing that I've noticed that keeps this card from being ranked a little bit higher. If he is able to block the ball more efficiently and play catcher a little bit better, then this card would be ranked a little bit higher because it is tough to find a switch-hitting catcher with mid-80s power, and that's what this card has, along with good vision, good contact versus both sides, a little bit better versus lefties. But once again, I don't have the biggest sample size with this card. He does have the highest batting average for me in one of the smallest sample size, but does get a lot of base hits. I use this card in the event. I use this card in ranked a little bit, and I wanted to pick that card up because he gives me more versatility on my bench. Justin Turner is another one that I was really interested in picking up. He's always had an interesting swing, a very high leg kick, a pretty good swing though in years past. I feel like I'm able to hit with right-handed hitters a little bit better in this year's game than I have been able to in previous years. So I have a lot of righties ranked higher. Normally I would have more lefties ranked higher on the list, like Juan Soto, Matt Olson, Joey Gallo. But I went with some righties. I think a lot of these cards are pretty good all around. This card mashes lefties. I've only played a few games with him and used him in the event, so I didn't get that many at-bats in those 3-inning games. But another one I think that is really good, this Ozzie Albies is incredible. He's a little bit better than Jimmy Rollins, in my opinion. Doesn't have the arm strength. That's the only thing I think he's lacking, but I think he's better in each and every category than Jimmy Rollins is in almost every hitting stat. So those are types of things that I'm looking for. This card is a great budget player. For you, he's going to have gold fielding at both infield positions, second base and shortstop. I've only used this card for one plate appearance, though. I got out with him. I popped up on the first pitch. It was a fastball up and in. And that's another thing about this card. He's 5'8", so his strike zone is pretty small. I've given up some home runs to him, and he's very good. I played a couple really good players that had Ozzie Albies in their lineup. So that's something to keep in mind. Aaron Nola is coming in as the 3rd ranked pitcher. I haven't used Matthew Boyd, so I don't have him on this list, but I think that this Aaron Nola is pretty good. He has pretty good hits and Ks per 9, mid-80s, which is solid at the early game cycle. I know that this card won't last in my rotation for a long time, but for now, he's pretty decent. I mean, he has 4 pitches. If he had a 5th pitch, that probably would make him a little bit better, and potentially a little bit better than Blake Snell, but because Blake Snell is a lefty, have to stagger those pitchers. Anthony Rizzo makes the list as the last ranked player, but I think this card's really good. I think he's an underrated player in the game. I would probably bet that I will see this card more often as the game cycle moves on with team affinities and people grind those out. This Anthony Rizzo is really good. I've only used him for a few at-bats, which is why I have him ranked in the last spot. But him and Albies, those guys could have been easily flip-flop in this situation. I have had 2 doubles with Anthony Rizzo, though. 2 doubles, not really deserving doubles either. He plays with that shift, so you can hit the ball against the shift. And he's also a really pretty balanced hitter against left-handed pitching. Anyway, that's my rankings, and hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'm College Lefty, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.